did it.
Hi, everybody. I'm so happy to meet with you before Christmas. I really wanted to talk to you about what happened this year and what's going to happen in the next few months. And first of all, I really would like to thank you for having followed all the events in 2024. And I wanted to catch up about the various also to answer to lots of questions you were asking me because as you know we are live on Facebook, we are live on Instagram, and we are live on YouTube as well. So welcome to everybody from wherever you are. And it was a great year, very busy, and I can't believe that I was not even 1 year ago in the Château de Versailles, the Hall of Mirrors, La Galerie des Glaces. And I'm going to speak English because, as you know, we have lots of friends from all over the world and they don't understand French, but sometimes I will answer some questions in French. So I'm going to swap between English and French. Et je disais donc que je suis très heureux de passer ce moment avec vous. Euh, et je vous remercie vraiment d'avoir suivi aussi toutes nos aventures, toutes mes aventures en 2024, et puis vous parler aussi un peu de ce qui va se passer en 2025. Donc je ne peux pas croire qu'il n'y a même pas un an, j'étais dans la Galerie des Glaces au château de Versailles. Ça me paraît à la fois très loin et très près. Et j'ai reçu, merci, j'ai reçu énormément de questions depuis 2 jours que Marie-Laure et Fiona ont, ont, ont testé, ont sélectionné. Et j'ai j'ai beaucoup de questions qui recoupent d'ailleurs certaines choses que je voulais aborder avec vous. I was saying that I have lots of questions that I wanted that I received, and thank you for sending me so many questions. And some questions are actually related to what I wanted to talk to you about. So I would like to start first of all with the Zuluk issues. As you know, I wanted to celebrate the 40th anniversary of Zuluk with the release with the new mastering, and some technical issues happened. It came from the studio, and Patrick, my dear friend Patrick is the boss of the studio. I mean, we had so many different versions, and actually, we found out with him that we had a digital master and an analog master, and we were not sure about which one, and we started to choose one of them, and actually it appeared that it was a digital copy of the master. And this is the reason why we have this kind of tiny glitches and one bigger one. And thank you for some of you that gave me and gave us a precise timing of every click and every mistakes. So then Patrick went back to the studio and tried to find the real master, and then we found it, and then we have replaced all the copies and all the different versions with the right one. So I hope you will like it. And David Perrault, as usual, did a great work. I know, from over the years that some of you were criticizing the mastering, saying we're not finding the same warmth or the same than at the beginning. It's always a very complex issue to try to keep the warmth we had from uh, from the time, because we are not dealing with the same machines, we are not dealing with the same analog equipment, and also sometimes I wanted to also improve with my taste, improve the original versions. So it was not necessarily always something you liked, but it's something that I totally assume. And in the case of Zuluk, you had this. It's based on the Fairlight. Some of you are asking me a lot of questions about Zuluk and the way it has been done. As you know, I used the Fairlight, which was actually the first really big sampling machine. And in those days, it was in 8 bits, and you could only sample 0.8 seconds. When you think about what we can do today, it's almost a joke. But this 8 bits quality, I mean, created the sound of that time that we can't reproduce except if we are working with a Fairlight these days, even with new samplers. So you have this kind of very special warmth and also very special colored medium and in the high mid and the mid and high mid, which is very, very, very specific of the Fairlight. And we worked a lot, and David Perrault worked a lot in the mastering to try to keep the warmth and even improve the warmth of the final version. And I hope that everybody will be happy with the versions we have. I added one bonus track, which is Moon Machine. And why I did this one is because it has been actually released at one moment in one best of called Images quite a while ago, but never again. And this track, I really created this and produced this track during the Zuluk sessions. So I'm totally done with the Fairlight sequencer, and I thought it was quite nice to add this kind of special bonus track to celebrate this 40th anniversary. And for me, the Zuluk album is one of my favorite albums of mine. It's something very special, different from the from the one from the other ones, and probably the closest album, ironically, is my most recent Oxymore. I would say that Oxymore has a kind of link with and there is a kind of yes, it's quite close from the Zuluk in terms of using electroacoustic approach. Electroacoustic approach is actually like musique concrète. I mean, using some organic sounds, recording some live organic sounds to to create uh, to create your arrangement and your orchestration. And so Zuluk was a real adventure, as you probably know the story. I really wanted to do an album with vocals, but not with lyrics. And so the idea was actually to create an album using vocals as sounds, not for the meaning of the voices, but for their sonic or audio characters. And I traveled all around the world to create a kind of bank of sounds, and then I put these sounds in my Fairlight. And when I had this whole palette of colors of sounds, I moved to New York to also record the other part of what I had in mind, to mix some organic sounds, all still with this kind of sampling approach, by using first of all working with Laurie Anderson in terms of on the vocal part, and I talked to her about the project. And I said, okay, I really would like you to and us to invent, to create an imaginary language with some phonemes or syllabs that could be kind of fake Japanese or Eskimo or something, but actually a non-existing language. And she, of course, she did it beautifully, and we had lots of fun in studio to do it. And then I asked to Marcus Miller, the famous bass player. I mean, I'm a great fan of Marcus, especially the work he did with Miles Davis, and is, of course, as we know, probably one of the best player in the history of bass guitars. And I asked him to play bass and his famous slapping and was using his bass almost as a percussion instrument sometimes. And then I took his bass parts, and I really cut all his bass parts and put it in and put them into the Fairlight. And I told him, I hope that you're not you're not going to be upset about the fact that I destroyed your work entirely. And he's got a lot of fun. He was very interested by the experience, and he loved it actually. And the idea was to create this kind of digital sound, the mixing of digital and analog. What makes Zuluk so special is actually it was one of the first attempts to mix analog and digital worlds. So this is the reason why I thought that Oxymore is quite close, because Oxymore, as you know, I used some organic sounds from Pierre Henry. That was actually, all these sounds were recorded outdoor, and also some of my own organic sounds mixed with electronic sounds from synthesizers. So in that aspect, there is a kind of link between both albums. And you were asked, so I'm talking to you because lots of questions were about Zuluk and the reason why, and the reason why of this album, and also it's also in terms of visuals, something I really took a lots of pleasure to work with Mark Fisher, and Mark Fisher passed away, as you probably know, a few years ago. A brilliant architect and designer, a genius, and we worked together on the concert in China and lots of in Houston concerts, and he actually designed the China concerts cover and also the Zulu cover. And it was really the first attempt of creating this kind of digital effects by that we can do now with even with your smartphone, but in those days was quite difficult to achieve. So this project, for in lots of aspects, was quite disruptive in my career and within my albums, and also in those times where music was not at all like this. The sound of this in 1984 was not exactly that. And actually, we were actually with Peter Gabriel. We received the first two Fairlights in Europe, and actually his nephew, the nephew of Peter's nephew, was actually was importing this very strange, crazy instruments from Australia. Talking about the instruments you see around me are it's entirely from Arturia. I love Arturia, a French brand, and they released all over the years fantastic plugins, but also fantastic keyboards. And this one is the new Polybrute 12, and this keyboard is going to be in the history of synthesizers. Is the new CS80 for people who knows who knows this fantastic instrument. The CS80 from Yamaha was a total revolution. I used it a lot. Vangelis also used it a lot. And this one, in my opinion, is the new CS80, the CS80 of the 2020s. And I love this instrument. It's great. And also I have a small other Arturia MIDI controller, the Keystep 37. And even here and here I have another MIDI controller. So I'm surrounded by Arturia, and I love them, and I think they are really brilliant, and I'm proud as a French musician to have such a talented company and great company being providing so amazing instruments from my country. So maybe we can talk about this one. This one is talking about the Fairlight and talking about Australian genius. This one is from Melbourne. It's called the Nina, and it's quite an amazing instrument as well. So to go back to what happened in 2024, the Versailles concert was in 2023, but for me it's this past year was an amazing project, probably one of the most amazing projects using VR and AR. As you know, I've been really involved during COVID by virtual mode of expressions, I think I'm losing the screen. Maybe we need a bit of light. Yes, yes. It's just for me because so that I can look where I am in the picture. So I yes, and Versailles was a unique experience, and it was an old moment in my life where I've been really heavily involved in VR and AR, working with my friend from Vroom, to create. We started with Alone Together, and then Welcome to the Other Side with the Virtual Notre Dame. And I thought it was talking about Virtual Notre Dame because the reopening of Notre Dame. I thought it was quite nice to send a little present with this just excerpt of 360 experience. I would like just to tell you about this. Lots of people say, yes, we really would like the real 360, and where you can actually explore inside the Notre Dame. And when we were preparing, with Marie-Laure and Fiona this kind of excerpts, and the VR room team also. Suddenly I saw this, what we call equi-rectangular. The equi-rectangular format is actually the 360 format when it's in 2D. It has this kind of kaleidoscopic type of aspect. And I was just playing this during a few hours, totally hypnotized by the process. I don't like this kind of most of the time kaleidoscopic visual, but in that case, I thought it was absolutely magical, and also giving justice to the fantastic work that all the team on the graphic aspect achieved by synchronizing with the music all these 3D elements, and it's another experience, another thing, and I really enjoyed it, and I just wanted to share this with you. And of course, it's totally different from a real 360 or even a real VR experience, of course. But that was something that, as a little gift, that I wanted to share with you. So, before answering to specific questions, I would like to touch a little bit about the other thing I did in 2024. First of all, Bratislava. Bratislava was, in a sense, going back to the big shows. Some of you were asking me, but are you still doing big shows? And I think Bratislava for me is probably the for me the most successful for me technically and in terms of concept. Big outdoor events. We have to understand that this project was actually in the center of a city such as Bratislava, free concerts. So like La Concorde, or like La Défense, or with the same kind of difficulties to deal with the city, with the police, with the security, and to create a kind of one-off free event in the middle of a city was something that I really enjoyed a lot in my life. And this time it was a very special event, opening this this fantastic, this fantastic festival called Starmus, as you know, where the idea was coming from Stephen Hawking, founded by Stephen Hawking, and with my friend Garrick Israelian, who is actually the producer and at the origin of Starmus, to gather artists, scientists, and private entrepreneurs to think about the world in different way. In days where we all know that politicians have their limits, to say the least, uh, it's a brilliant idea to gather from time to time artists and scientists, Nobel Prize, and and private entrepreneurs, because we are thinking outside the box. And it's quite interesting to see all these crazy people, because artists or scientists or even some private entrepreneurs are quite crazy. And when I say crazy, I say that with a lot of respect, but the idea of thinking differently. And I learned a lot through this process of Starmus, and it was a great honor to celebrate Starmus in such a spectacular way. And then for me, this idea of total opera, this idea of presenting, yeah, spectacle total, en français, l'idée du spectacle total, avec l'idée de pouvoir justement intégrer toutes les différentes techniques visuelles, de laser, de vidéo, de lumière, et aussi avec un son le meilleur possible. Et j'ai travaillé pour ça avec une société extraordinaire allemande qui s'appelle Coda, qui révolutionne absolument le PA système des concerts avec des boîtes assez petites qui donc n'abîment pas le visuel, la scénographie, et qui en même temps portent très très loin. Donc j'étais très très content du son qui a été fait à Bratislava. And I also thank also the company who produce and finance called Esset, and this team is really great. They are specialized in cybersecurity, so it was interesting to play Exit with the presence of Edward Snowden, talking about cybersecurity, and they actually sponsored the whole festival, including this concert. And of course, one of the highlights of the concert was to join forces with Brian May. Brian May is an astrophysicist. He's involved with the StarMust for quite a long time. And we always said that we should join forces at one moment for a StarMust edition. And then when I said, okay, I'm going to do this concert, would you accept to be part of it? And he right away said yes. And then we got this great relationship where I'm a night bird. I'm working at night, but I think he's much worse than me. I mean, before 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning, it was very difficult to discuss. So he was calling me more or less all the time between 4 and 5. To tell the truth, being in London, it was 3 o'clock when it was 4 for me. So it was even worse on my side, I would say. And Brian, if you listen to me, I must say that I was even in a worse position than you, just to let you know. But it has been great. I mean, to rehearse, it was difficult for him as a real challenge because he always been able to inside Queen to be the boss, to be in a sense to be the lead, to play the lead part and the lead with his own songs and his own sound. In that case, he had to be involved inside my show, which is of course totally different from a Queen concert with lots of technology around and all that. And I think it's been really amazing to sneak inside the Rendezvous 2 and also this all these songs also that we shared the stage for in the middle of the concert, and then to end with a fantastic time machine moment where we joined forces with the electric guitar and laser harp, and that was of course a very special moment to mix the best of rock and roll with the best of electronic music or electronic moment, and using lasers and electric guitars was something very special. And also I use a lot of AI. I know that some of you are asking me a lot about AI and how I could I'm dealing with AI. So I'm using AI for quite a while, and even if I'm not using it yet so much in my music, because I think that so far all the algorithms and plugins are for me not yet so convincing. It's going to happen, but not now. In terms of visuals, I think it was I took lots of pleasure to create the whole visual content on my own with some algorithm, mainly the Stable Diffusion AI algorithm where I created all these kind of strange humanoid and robots and figures and abstract shapes, graphic shapes. And the same in Versailles also, where I was quite influenced in, I wanted to create a kind of world between Möbius and Tim Burton somehow. That was different visual content and context. And for Bratislava, it was more purely futuristic with this kind of strange human robots, and I think it worked quite well. Ensuite, j'ai pris beaucoup de plaisir à jouer dans un festival beaucoup plus petit que Bratislava, qui était les Francopholies à La Rochelle. Et Fiona is actually just sneaking behind the computer to tell me that to tell me what.
You should say bonsoir to all these people.
Ah yes. So because at the moment we are sharing this moment with lots of different countries, and just Fiona just wanted to pass me the message that we are live with with people from Russia, from Ireland, from Germany, Sweden, Belgium, Finland, Gibraltar, Portugal, Hungary, Colombia, Brazil, Greece, Peru, Poland, Mexico, Ukraine, Spain, Slovakia, Denmark, UK, Chile, El Salvador, Scotland, Argentina, Iran, France, Taiwan, China, and Japan, and some other countries. So thank you very much to be from all over the world sharing the same moment at the same time. This is the magic of technology. And to go back to technology with this idea of AI, what I really love with AI is it's a real extension of my imagination. If you think about an instrument like this, it's actually a little bit like AI, because AI is what is actually I have an idea, and by using an interface, this interface is going to produce some unexpected events. A synth, in a sense, is this. I mean, a piano could be also something of my extension of my imagination. Instead of playing a mono instrument, with flute or guitar, suddenly with a piano, you can play 10 notes, 8 notes at the same time. 10 maybe not, but yes, you can have clusters, so you can 10 or even more. So AI is all about harvesting big data. And what I always think that how a musical idea is coming from. A musical idea is coming from, suddenly you have an idea and you say, wow, I didn't think about this. And suddenly I'm excited by this idea and I want to exploit it, to use it. And where is it coming from? Actually, it's coming from my own, with my subconscious, from my own analog data, which is what? Which is my memory, my childhood, my culture, my family and friends, and all these kind of random elements give birth to, in a mysterious way, to a musical idea. And this is exactly what AI is, by using algorithms. So, what is interesting with what I did this year, on a visual point of view, is what I created on a visual point of view. It's absolutely me. It's not AI controlling me. I control AI with the prompts to get exactly the kind of visual style I wanted. If you see what I've done, it's not manga, it's not video games. It's something that I had in mind. I wanted to create this kind of mixture of futurism from the 1930s or the first robots of the 50s, and mixed all this, and also some futuristic humanoid from the future, and to mix all this. And then I worked maybe almost 2 weeks, 2 weeks night and day, to create all these characters and this decor. And then I worked with Ivan Morandi, show director and lighting designer I'm working with, and all the team, with Mikel and Julia and JK and all my gang and the family people, family is almost the visual, my family involved in visual to create animation around all this. So, and so it's what I used for La Rochelle, and j'étais en train de parler de La Rochelle juste avant que Fiona vienne m'interrompre. Pour en fait, c'était un challenge parce que j'avais pas, je voulais pas faire de tournée en 2024 parce que j'avais justement à la fois Versailles, aussi Bratislava, et puis les Jeux Olympiques qui allaient arriver. Et donc, quand Gérard Pont m'a demandé si je voulais venir célébrer avec eux, avec le Festival des Francopholies, le 40e anniversaire, j'ai dit OK, mais c'était un challenge pour en fait euh, prendre des éléments de la scénographie du concert de Bratislava et de réduire à la taille d'un festival comme celui de La Rochelle et des Francopholies. Mais j'ai pris beaucoup de plaisir à le faire dans des conditions compliquées, mais c'était formidable de jouer dans un festival comme celui-là, et ça m'a redonné envie de jouer, de faire quelques festivals, ce que je vais faire, et on va en parler l'année prochaine. Et puis, en fait, est arrivé là-dessus les Jeux Olympiques, qui a été un vrai challenge aussi, et très compliqué, parce que comme vous pensez, I spoke in English, then after La Rochelle, I went to, I had to prepare the Olympics and the closing ceremony of Paris 2024, Paris 2024. And that was difficult because it's the Olympics, I mean, you have so many different teams, so different crews. It was very difficult to keep your identity and what I had in mind in the middle of so many different events happening at the same time. You know, the Olympics are mainly sports event and sports events, and this closing ceremony was also what the idea was to send the last postcard, the last image of this whole Olympic season. So it was quite a big responsibility. And the idea went to celebrate the French electronic music. And then I've been asked to do the opening and the ending of the moment. And we said, and the big challenge was the fact that you had sports activities and sports events until the night before. So we had almost no time to create to create the stage design and to install the whole the stage and all the lights and everything. And then we got the idea to create a moment of surprise by, instead of playing the laser harp in the middle of the stadium, so like that we could also conceive the finale with all the athletes around in the middle of the stage to get the finale, the last moment, with the laser harp on top of the stadium. So the challenge was to move from one stage to another. Technically, it was quite complicated. And of course, what happened to me a few times in my life, like in the Docklands or in other moments, I got, just when I went on stage, such a crazy heavy rain that I never had that in my life. I'm quite used to rain sometimes, but this one was so amazing. I was not supposed to wear the same jacket I'm wearing a lot. So I had another idea, but this one was the only one able to protect me, I thought. But actually, after 2 minutes, water was really actually dripping along my skin, going along my trousers and filling my shoes. It was absolutely incredible. And then the question was to protect the instruments or not, and we decided to. I said no, I don't want to have plastic on, and playing under the plastic or having an umbrella. I think it was not nice for the people on stage. And around me, you had all these disabled great athletes. I mean, under the rain, I couldn't see me. I mean, just having an umbrella. So I said no. let's do it. And then Patrick and the backliners, they had hair dryers after the show. Because 10 minutes was okay, but actually my mug was full of water, and some others. Funnily enough, some of them were vertical, like the GRP behind me. This great Italian modular synthesizer was behind and vertical, so the rain was not, and it was with a fly case, so it was okay. The big thing was the big Moog One, and but right away, and also the VCS3. But right away, Patrick is quite used to this, quite a champion of lots of things, but especially in hairdryer performance. They tried all the instruments, and it's okay, but it was quite a challenge. So that was another big moment in 2024. And then I was preparing also. We went to China with the team, with Fiona and different people of my crew to prepare a project in China, in Shenzhen, with the idea to curate, to become a curator for 5 years, for creating a big festival, with the ambition to this festival could become a kind of worldwide reference in electronic music, and it was quite at a late stage, so I preferred to postpone my performance next year in 2025. So for 2025, I'm really thinking about, and as you know that already, because we already announced different festivals, one in Stuttgart, one in Sevilla, and in Seville in Spain. And we are actually building at the moment a series of festivals in 2025. And also, of course, I'll let you know, and we'll let you know as soon as we progress and we have definite dates for festival in 2025. And some lots of other things and lots of other surprises in 2025, and also preparing a very special year for me, which is 2026 is going to be the anniversary of Oxygen, and I can say that we are preparing already lots of different surprises, but I can't say more, of course, at that stage. But of course, I'll keep you informed in the next few months. So now I would like to move precisely on some questions, because thank you, but I have hundreds of questions, and I tried to cover what I said about all the questions you're asking. But more specifically, I'm just choosing just like this, reading, like for instance, Martin Dodd is asking, using Fairlight to help create Zuluk was at the time a fresh sound. Do you think it's harder to create now that AI is being used in music? So I covered that partly. I would like to about this question, and thank you, Martin, to ask me the question. We should stop AI to think that AI is a threat. Innovation and progress. You can't stop progress. You can't stop innovation. And the same thing that you couldn't stop electricity, or electricity created a lot of disruptions at the moment at that time, but it created industrialization, the beginning of recorded music. Lots of all publishers, when recorded music happened, were saying this is the end of live performance, because now you can listen to music with records at home. So it's the end of live concerts, and we see that not only it's weakened the live performance, but it's even reinforced live performance, because when you're listening to music on vinyl, on CD, or on a streaming platform, that gives you the idea to go to a performance of one of our favorite artists. Same with AI. AI is an extension of our imagination. Of course, each innovation can have dark sides. Electricity is dangerous. The discovery of fire is dangerous. But at the same time, it created major evolutions for all of us. For AI, it's going to be the same. Of course, with AI, you will be able to create, maybe to copy standard pop songs. But we should not forget that when you are using AI, you are harvesting the past. AI is all about the past. And an artist is actually using some infos from the past to create something new and something specific. So I see my images being frozen. I don't know if it's the case. Is it the case for you, Fiona? Is it the case? Because the image here is frozen. But is it working? Still working?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it's only the computer in front of me. Sorry about that. So I was saying that actually AI is we should not be afraid of it, and for two reasons. First of all, because of what I explained, and second, and two, you can't stop the progress. So the early you embrace a new technology, the better you can understand it, and you can fight against its negative effects, and using it in the best way. So AI for me is not at all a problem, as long as we are not naive about it and we can set up the rules and take care of the ethics side of it. So, Hervé Delphin, est-ce que des rééditions d'Oxygène et d'Equinox en Dolby Atmos sont envisageables ou envisagées? Alors, il y a beaucoup de questions, donc je vais répondre un peu en français, un peu en anglais, puisque la question m'est posée en français. Moi, j'ai une approche assez extrême de Dolby Atmos, que je pense être d'ailleurs la bonne. C'est le fait que j'ai fait par exemple Oxymore en Dolby Atmos et en son immersif, parce que j'ai conçu l'album depuis le départ. Alors, Instagram se termine dans 8 minutes. Ou à 8 p.m. Oui, mais je ne sais pas quelle heure il est.
Moins de quart.
OK, dans 15 minutes. OK. Donc, I just saying that Instagram is finishing in 15 minutes. So maybe if I'm a little bit longer than 15 minutes, I advise you to swap to Facebook or YouTube because there is no limits in time of time. Donc, je conseille à nos amis qui sont sur Instagram, parce qu'Instagram va s'arrêter dans 15 minutes. Et si on déborde un petit peu, je vous conseille de pouvoir aller directement ou sur Facebook ou sur ma chaîne YouTube. Voilà. Donc, where were we? Yes, Dolby Atmos. Donc, je pense que Oxymore, en fait, pour moi, je l'ai conçu dès le départ en 360. Donc, le Dolby Atmos est vraiment la manière dont il faut écouter Dolby Atmos, Oxymore en binaural. Et j'ai fait évidemment une version stéréo pour tout le monde. Maintenant, transformer en Dolby Atmos quelque chose qui a été fait en stéréo, ok, c'est bien, mais ça n'a pas été nécessairement conçu. Dans le cas d'Oxygène, ça pourrait être possible parce que la musique s'y prête. Il y a des morceaux qui s'y prêtent pas. Mais ça demande beaucoup de travail et donc c'est toujours un problème pour moi entre ce que j'ai envie de faire et puis d'arrêter ce que je suis en train de faire pour transformer des choses que j'ai pu faire avant pour une version Y ou Z. Et comme je ne veux pas le déléguer, ça, parce que je voudrais le faire moi-même, après, c'est une question de temps. J'étais en train de... I was saying in English that a lot of people are asking me about Dolby Atmos, why not doing Oxygen or Equinox in Dolby Atmos. I said, one, I have a quite a precise view about that. I think that I did Oxymore in Dolby Atmos because I conceived and I composed Oxymore in 360. It's always a problem for me to, and especially when I see so many things in spatial audio, for instance, on Apple Music. I mean, you have lots of music produced in stereo, and then being remixed or transformed into Dolby Atmos. Most of the time, to tell you the truth, I prefer the stereo version because it has not been conceived for Dolby Atmos. So, having said that, Oxygen on Equinox, because of their style of the content, could be done in Dolby, could be reproduced in 360 or in Dolby Atmos. But then my problem is actually, do I have to stop what I'm doing to suddenly stopping what all the projects I have in my mind to focus for a few weeks or a month to recreate a new version of Oxygen or Equinox? My answer is no, because I'm more excited by creating something new than revisiting something I've done already. So very little chance, to tell you the truth, that we'll have Oxygen and Equinox in Dolby Atmos. So Helena Bogdanopoulos is asking a question about the Olympics. And Paralympics closing ceremony was awesome, but Bratislava was even more incredible. I'm surprised that you haven't released it on Blu-ray, DVD. Any plans to do so in the future? Thank you for asking, Elena, because actually we are actually preparing a proper release for Bratislava. I agree with you that Bratislava for me is one of them. For me, a unique project and probably the most achieved project I've been involved since quite a lot of time. So I really would like to do a good release of the Bratislava project with and releasing it in Blu-ray and releasing it also as a proper album and box set. And we are working on it. We had also to work with Brian Mays and sound engineers, because he wanted to remix some of things, and he's of course very precise of what he wants and what he doesn't want. So of course I have to respect this, and so it's a work in progress. But be sure that somehow in 2025 we'll have a proper release and proper box set for Bratislava, which for me is one of my favorite babies, if I can say so. And the Olympics, of course, was a total different context. And for what it was, I've even with all the difficulties that I mentioned, quite happy about the result. And I would like to also share something with you about the sound, because in broadcast, nobody realizes, and not a lot of people realizes, how the quality of sound is how important it is. And I would like really to thank David Perrault, my friend and brilliant sound engineer and sound mastering engineer, because we are quite obsessed by the fact that we try to have a specific mastering for YouTube, a different one for TV, different one for radio eventually, or for some streaming platforms or Chinese ones. And this is so important, because I realize that, for instance, if you are in front of your laptop or Instagram or your TV, if you have an average visual in terms of visual broadcast, where the cameras or director is not that good, it's okay. But if you have a great sound, you really enjoy it. If you have the most fantastic broadcast in terms of visual with a sound not that good, you're not interested. So I'm quite happy with the fact that for Versailles, for Bratislava, for La Rochelle also, and for the Olympics, we took great care of having the best mastering possible sound for the different platforms. And so this is something which is very important to me. And so Marek Juminski So it's very interesting about does Oxyville still exist? Yes, and I was involved in lots of other projects, but you will know probably in the next few days some precise news about Oxymore and Oxyville because I have potentially a big project in 2025 around Oxyville and Oxymore, something quite special. I would be happy to share with you as soon as it's confirmed, and I will let you know, promise, in the next few days, before Christmas or after Christmas. So, what else? So many questions. I have to. Sorry about everybody asking questions, but I try to cover all your questions by to answer to generally speaking about what I want to share with you. What is this one from Kevin Nolan about AI? You seem comfy with the advent of AI on how it might enhance human creativity. Do you accept the threats that many perceive, and if not, why? So, Kevin, I think I already answered this question. I think for me, AI should not be a threat, not more than, as I said, the discovery of electricity or discovery of or the invention of development of electronic of. I remember, when I was starting with synthesizers, I did maybe you know that I've been the first musician to introduce electronic music at the French Opera House. And I remember during the rehearsal that some members of the symphonic orchestra, because it was a mixed project, were actually unplugging my PA systems because they were scared at that time that synthesizers and electronic music would kill their jobs. That because of electronic, we will have no more acoustic instruments, no more orchestra, no more concerts. And of course, it was not true. So we should not be scared about AI. AI is going to, of course, technology dictating styles is going to generate probably the rock and roll of tomorrow, the hip hop of tomorrow, new genres of music. We don't know that, and we should be excited and curious about innovation and not being scared of innovation. This is my opinion. Pat Gleason, dear Pat, thank you for following me, and I see that you are following lots of my activities. It means a lot to me, like lots of other friends, asking me an interesting question. Hi, Jean-Michel. Are there any plans for an English translation of Melancholic Rodeo? And would you ever consider a biography written by someone that could do a deep dive into the recording and creative processes behind your albums? I'm sure there are more fascinating stories. Yes, and yes. We are going to release in the next few months, or maybe in 2026, with this very special year, the English version of my autobiography, maybe augmented. I really thinking about maybe adding a few chapters to the biography. Still work in progress. I'm just sharing some thoughts with you. I don't know if it's going to happen, if I'm going to have the time to write the new chapters, but it's something that I really have in mind, and I hope that it will be done and it will be possible. And also, yes, I'm also very interested, and also it's part of my coming projects to release some books of different kind than the biography, and I will keep you posted as soon as I'm working on this, but definitely. Jean-Michel Foivard. Bon, Jean-Michel, je ne peux pas t'éviter puisque tu me suis et que tu as le même prénom que moi, donc je sais à quel point tu suis. Je te remercie beaucoup à travers toutes ces années de suivre mon travail avec autant d'assiduité. Et tu me disais, le concert de Bratislava sera-t-il en DVD? Merci. Eh bien, écoute, oui, je t'ai déjà répondu qu'effectivement, je suis heureux de te dire que le concert de Bratislava va sortir dans les semaines qui viennent, en 2025. Voilà. Matthew Stringer, you were talking about Atmos and so lots of questions, hundreds of questions, but I'll pick three, and I'll pick So the book tour for your autobiography in English language, I already answered to that. Two, you said that stereo was a limited medium, and now we actually prefer Dolby Atmos. I answered to that question. And how many times people pointed out the fact that we had glitches on Ethnicolor? I also answered to this question, and sorry again for that. Signé, I could avoid not talking to you, and you know, I want to share with all my friends for every country that, as you know, Signé is the boss, actually. You know, and she's always surprising me. And thank you so much, Signé, and also through you to all my faithful friends and fans following my work. You have no idea how much it means to me. I mean, you know, when you are an artist, you never know what's going on. You know, as you know, for me every project is for me. I approach every project as a beginner. You know, I never know if it's going to be okay. I never know what the next project is going to happen. And you, whatever, I mean, you always following my work with such a just goodness and just generosity. So it means a lot to me. So I had, of course, to check and to pick your question. So, and your question is quite interesting. It's not a question, actually. It's a plan you have. I hope that this plan could happen. Signé is saying that if I win 100 million euros in the Euro Lotto tonight, I'll spend an extravagant amount on this amount of money to create the most amazing JAR concert ever. And then in that case, which place would I suggest to for the venue? And is there a special theme or code that should be incorporated? And you know, Signé, it's very difficult to answer to this question because I never choose any. It's something that maybe you know, but I never choose the place in the world. Lots of people are thinking that I choose the pyramids, or I choose Houston, and it's very strange and mysterious in my life that all these I actually all these concerts happen because I've been asked. It was requests from the country, from the city, or from a production company, and then you know. One day I really would like, you know, I like also to go into where people to talking about cause. Uh, I know it could shock some of yours, but you know, I think that today in the future, I hope that it will be possible one day to play in places like such in Iran or North Korea. Why that? Because a lot of people say, no, we never go this or never go there, and I want to boycott and all that. And you know, as you know, Signé, my mom was in the French resistance. She's captured by the Nazis 3 times, and she escaped 3 times. And she always told me when I was a kid that you should make a difference between, for instance, the Nazis and the German people at that time. The fact that you should never mix and never confuse an ideology and people. And if you're in countries where people have no freedom, no movies, no music, no nothing, on top of it, you are part of kind of double punishment by saying no, I don't want to go there. I think we have to go there as artists because culture and music is everything and helping to people to survive. So yes, one day I would like to play and perform in countries and with people who don't have the luck and the privilege to be in a democracy and to be in contact with music and movies and culture. So we'll see. And but let me know if you win because I'm sure that we can find a place. Okay, so yeah, Lee Sainsbury. I mean, I think it will be the one of the last question, I think. Lee, thank you again also because you are one of very faithful followers. But I mean, you have so many people following me again. Thank you so much. I know that there is a kind of rumor launched by Jeff Bezos, Amazon, saying that I would prepare an Electronica 3. I must say it's an absolute lie. I have no plan at the moment to create an Electronica 3. Maybe in the future, but having said that, I'm really open and planning to maybe collaborate with people, but certainly not at the moment because I'm involved in lots of different projects with in 2026 with the Oxygen Celebration, with new album, with new tracks. So no plan with Electronica 3. I just would like to also just very quickly answer to some question coming directly from Instagram. You have Jean-Luc in Germany. What can we expect from the forthcoming concerts in China, Spain, and Germany? Spain and Germany, China is going to be something else, probably a bigger production closer to Bratislava, even different, but a kind of big one-off event. Spain, but Germany and other festival will be part of a small, I would say, a festival tour. So the production is necessarily different, but I'm really planning to include some maybe some one or two different tracks and also to create some specific visuals to it. So we'll see. I'm really not yet into this, so I will keep you posted. And well, I say that everybody's saying that I should finish. So I'm going to just finish by Kiliana, because you know, Kiliana, I've been really touched by what you said about your child. I mean, it's calling me Mr. Synthesizer. So I just would like to finish this moment with you by saying to your family that Mr. Synthesizer is sending you lots of love to everyone, everybody. Wishing you a Merry Christmas, and we keep in touch. Thank you again for being so faithful, following all my activities. It means a lot to me, and thank you again. And of course, I'll let you know everything new in the coming weeks, and probably rendezvous in 2025. Bye bye. I love you. Bye bye.